Lakers drop one to the T-Wolves. They are now at 12-9. It was their lowest scoring output offensively of the season. Just 80 points. They were 19% from three. Listen, LeBron and AD on the second night of a back-to-back. This is rare, but they combined for only 22 points. They were 8 for 30. The team, 20 turnovers. That led to 26 points. So that transition D, Fish, kind of still an issue in terms of how the team is getting back defensively when they have these tough losses.
Yeah, in particular on the second night of a back-to-back, the energy isn't there. The muscles aren't firing the same. The brain isn't circulating that information as quickly. And the Lakers are really struggling with live ball turnovers. I know, J.J. Redick mentioned that earlier in the season. I think even before the season started, it was one of his points of emphasis. Like, live ball turnovers will decimate you defensively. And the Lakers are suffering from that, too many, too often. And that's really costing them some of these games.
Yeah, only 19 assists, too, tonight for the Lakers. Usually when they're up in the 25 to 30 assists, the ball is moving. It's just one of those NBA nights. I don't make excuses for anything, but the schedule they had, and they had to fly into Minnesota. Minnesota desperate for some good basketball, too. Sticky defense, and the Lakers just could not overcome it, Brad.
They seem like a tired team, period. 5th game in 7 nights. And I give the NBA a lot of credit. They did away with the 4 games in 5 nights. You can't do that anymore. That went away a few years ago. 5 and 7's tough. I mean, that is really, really difficult. The Lakers, escaped with the win last night in Utah. Had to get on the flight right away. Good thing they won that game. And then they come out to Minnesota. It just seemed tired. LeBron, he got to that 10 points, 4 for 16 tonight. Has not made a 3 in 4 games, which surprises me. Because last year, he was incredible from deep. Career best 41% from three-point range. Obviously, the 3 ball is not his friend right now. AD, 12 points in 33 minutes. That's pretty low for him, too. So I think you got to chalk this up as a fatigue loss. The problem is they're still on the road for another 4 or 5 days. Got in Miami in 2 days. And in the surprisingly almost 500 Atlanta Hawks 2 days after that on Friday.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the team right now offensively. And then I do want to get into LeBron. Brez, you brought up some good points. The first 14 games, I want you guys to see what this team was looking like offensively, just in terms of their numbers and their offensive rating. This is the last 7 first. They were 117 points per game in the first 14 games. And then in the last 7, they were 2-5, only 102 points. So 15 points less big game. And the opponent points went up to 112, point differential minus 10, and 3-point field goals 30%. So you just see, the domino effect right there.
Yeah. I mean, out of the gate, with the new system, not too many people, were familiar with the Lakers plan. But, you get scouted, and, teams start to know what you're doing, and you kind of have to play through that. I think that's kind of where they've been the last week. And they played some upper echelon teams as well. Phoenix, Denver.
OKC.
Exactly, Brad. So that's where they're being measured right now as far as what they have to do going forward, as far as, being able to sustain some good basketball against some of the good teams and do it in traffic. I mean, in traffic, like on the road, back-to-back games, all of the above.
Yeah, D-Fish, I worry about the offense. Okay, I was at the OKC game here the other night. Lakers barely got to 90 in that game, a couple points over 90. The 80 they scored tonight, it's the fewest they've had in a game since 2017. So, you miss Austin Reeves, no doubt about it. Good energy off the bench. Good shooter, good attacker to the basket. I just feel like the offense is sluggish right now. I think J.J. Redick, he's got 2 days, to figure it out. Miami, Jimmy Butler's going to be ready to play some D-Fish, no doubt about it.
Part of that offense is, LeBron struggling, to shoot the ball from 3. That's been a big part of their offense. He shot 40+% from 3 last season. Austin Reeves really hurts your ability to make plays off the dribble. He gets to the free throw line. He helps you get your defense set. He's a low turnover player.
Another playmaker.
Yeah, another playmaker. But these games, when I was here last week, I mistakenly took the OKC game for a road game because I was confused at how they could go out to Phoenix, San Antonio.
It was crazy.
Come back to LA for silly. 1 game, and then back out to Utah and Minnesota for 2 more games, plus
in
Miami
back-to-back nights.
and Atlanta.
Yeah, it's tough.
The cumulative effect of that will start to wear down on the team. But someone has to find their way to LeBron, AD, there has to always be a third guy that finds a way to significantly impact the game. D'Lo, I thought, did that offensively tonight, but just not enough energy collectively from the group.
Yeah, I mean, when the schedule has been, to their credit, when the schedule has been favorable, they have taken care of business. I think that's been a big part of their success and why they had that good start. But these are tough times, Prez, when you are playing these many games in this many days and you're on the road and you're back-to-back. And I know it sounds like excuses, but that is part of the NBA. And as Fish said, you have to find ways to manufacture wins and take down the better teams in the conference.
Yeah, if there's a way for them to fast forward over the next 3 games, because next week is that big schedule gap for the in-season tournament, the NBA Cup. The Lakers will play 2 games over a 10-day span starting next week. But, so that's a little bit of a break. So they definitely I feel like they need that rest period right now, especially, again, after 5 games in 7 days. J.J. Redick spoke before the game, as he always does. And he was asked, what do you think of your first 20 games as an NBA coach? And what do you think of the team? He said 2 words, uneven and inconsistent. And when you see a team score 80, you can see kind of what he's talking about. There's been great games where, their season opener against this Minnesota team, they were lights out. That was a fun game to watch. The offense looked good. But the offense, starting with the OKC game a few days ago, and now with this game, you start to worry a little bit about that offense, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a theme, right? Whether it's poor shooting or turning the basketball over.
Sure.
We mentioned live turnovers, what that will do to this team, especially with the lack of maybe foot speed getting back, especially being shorthanded. That's just the way it's going to be. I do want to talk about LeBron because he's in his 22nd year, and when you watch him every night like we do, you're just absolutely blown away. So when he has a stretch where he's not producing at the level you're used to seeing him every single night, you have to talk about it. It just feels weird because he is human and he's going to have a bad stretch. But this happens to be the worst stretch in terms of the three-point shooting he's had in 4 games, where he is 0 for 19. As a guy who shot over 40% last year, he was shooting over 40% this year. But I think he would be upset, Brez. I think you brought this up, and James, like 5 turnovers per game as well. Just I'm not saying LeBron's tired. I'm just saying this is just the stretch he's in right now.
Yeah, I mean, look. He's been asked to do a lot, you know what I mean? And as great as he is, you can't ask a 39, 40-year-old guy to do this all the time, every night. It's just hard. But when he's called upon, he tries to do it. And sometimes I think he forced the issue sometimes I think the offense gets a little stagnant. But, he's got to figure out a way not to turn it over 6 times. That's still, a part of the game that he can control. I think sometimes he tries to thread the needle. Sometimes he's been used to doing that. But I think, he'll turn around. I just think the schedule's been wicked and, without some players. But they got to figure it out. They got to figure out some of the inconsistencies they can control. Like they only had 7 fast break points tonight as well. So that's something unusual for the Lakers. They got to get back on track, Brez.
Yeah, I mean, 24 hours ago, he was scoring 10 points in the fourth quarter and getting the team a win. So it is what it is. But those words, inconsistent and uneven, as JJ mentioned, and James, you just kind of built on. That's something.
Yeah, no, I found with LeBron, from observing and from some experience of my own, like he's better when there's time to prepare.